This right here is you. You just had a long, terrible day farming and are heading back to your village just to get a little bit of rest. But when you arrive, something feels wrong. You get back to your village and see empty streets and notice an awful odor coming from one of the huts. A villager lies dead on the floor, his body covered in large, swollen lumps called buboes, some of them leaking with pus, and that's when you realize something horrifying. The Black Death is here. From 1346 to 1353, the Black Death killed an estimated 75 to 200 million people and wiped out as much as 60% of Europe's population. In fact, the disease was so bad, many believed it to be a punishment from God. With no vaccines and no understanding of germs, people had little to no chance of stopping it, especially when your doctors look like this. But this is just one of the 4 most deadly diseases to ravage humanity. And moving on to number 4, we have rabies. It's late at night, and you're outside taking out the trash. You see a raccoon that looks kinda off, but you choose to ignore it. As you walk past it, it bites you. Annoying? Yes. Life-threatening? You really don't think so. After all, it's just a scratch, right? Unfortunately, that raccoon had other plans. A few weeks later, you start feeling sick. You start sweating, develop a fever, and then you start getting headaches. Hoping that it's just a common cold, you decide to go grab a cup of water since you're thirsty. You lift the cup up to your mouth, but your body won't let you. All of a sudden, you start panicking, and the sight of water scares you. This is rabies, a virus that spreads through the saliva of infected animals and attacks the brain and nervous system. Most cases of rabies also lead to hydrophobia due to the virus attacking the central nervous system. Once symptoms appear, survival is extremely rare. But thanks to modern medicine, if early precautions are taken, you'll have a near 100% survival rate from rabies. And now, for number 3, we have the notorious smallpox. Believed to have originated from Northeast Africa and the Middle East, the disease spread via humans throughout Eurasia and eventually made its way to the Americas during the Columbian Exchange. Once arrived in the New World, the disease ravaged native populations, with millions dying, and was a key reason why the conquistadors were able to conquer the Aztecs. What made smallpox so terrifying was how easily it spread. Entire communities could become infected in a short amount of time. Symptoms included red spots appearing on the skin, which would eventually turn into raised bumps filled with fluid and pus. Scabs would form and fall off, leaving scarring on the body. It had a mortality rate about 30% among those infected. The good news is, smallpox was declared eradicated in 1980, with the last known case being in 1977. Today, samples of the virus are safely stored in Atlanta, Georgia, and Kosovo, Russia, for research purposes. Number 2. The Spanish flu. The Spanish flu first emerged in 1918 during the final year of World War I, and contrary to popular belief, it probably did not originate in Spain. Spain simply reported on the outbreak more openly than many of the other wartime countries. The disease was caused by an H1N1 influenza virus and spread rapidly through coughing, sneezing, and close contact. Troop movements during World War I helped carry the virus across Europe, Asia, Africa, and the Americas, becoming a global pandemic within months. Symptoms included high fevers, coughing, fatigue, body aches, and severe pneumonia. In many cases, patients developed fluid-filled lungs and struggled to breathe. What made the Spanish flu so unusual was that it killed many healthy young adults, especially between the ages of 20 and 40, unlike most flu outbreaks which primarily affect the very young or the elderly. By the time the pandemic ended in 1920, it had killed an estimated 50 million people worldwide. And finally, last but not least, we have malaria. Unlike many diseases on this list, malaria is not caused by a virus or bacteria. Instead, it is caused by a parasite called Plasmodium. The parasite is transmitted through the bite of an infected female Anopheles mosquito. Once inside the body, the virus infects the liver before attacking the red blood cells within the body. Malaria has existed for thousands of years, likely originating in Africa. As humans continued to migrate and civilizations grew, the disease spread throughout the tropical and subtropical regions around the world. Common symptoms include high fevers, chills, sweating, headaches, fatigue, and muscle pain, with severe cases leading to organ failure, coma, and even death. Malaria has been one of the deadliest diseases in human history, killing tens of billions of people over thousands of years. Today, malaria remains a major global health challenge, especially in parts of Africa, though there have been many attempts to prevent it. For example, Google's life science company Verily has proposed releasing millions of male mosquitoes with the bacteria, which when they mate with the females will prevent their eggs from hatching.